That one in there.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. Thanks for joining this broadcast. My name is Robert, and in the studio with me, although behind the scenes, is Douglas, but I'll bring Douglas up. Douglas will be handling today's presentation. He's a certified Arduino specialist, and he's going to be talking to us about how you can get ready for Arduino certification. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring Douglas up. Hi, Douglas. You're on. You're on. So, say hi to everyone who's watching.
Hi everyone, I'm glad to have you on this show as we explain what you need to do to get ready for your Arduino certification program.
Okay. Are you able to share your slides, Douglas?
Yeah, minute, 1 minute. Let me do that. Sure. Let me present. Please, can you see it?
Not yet. Did you click on present beside settings? You need to
Yes,
click
I
on
said.
present.
Okay, 1 minute.
Or I can actually do it for you. Give me a
Yeah,
minute.
I'll just do it for you.
Okay. Okay, what's my WhatsApp?
Okay, so I'm presenting from my computer.
Okay, don't worry. I'll present it from here. You can, I
It's
believe you
it's
can.
now live. I think you can see it now.
No, still can't see it. I'm uploading it from here. Sorry, everyone. We're just trying Douglas's slide up.
Please, can you see it now?
Yeah, I can see your screen now. So you need to switch it over to the slides.
Okay, so you can see my screen.
I can see your screen, but I don't see the slides. Are you presenting the slides?
I'm presenting the slides, which is Arduino certification preparation.
No, I see a black screen. Let me see. Yeah, this is. Can you see what we're seeing? So just hold on. Give me a minute.
Okay, You check now.
Okay, we're good to go. So, okay, so go ahead, Douglas.
Okay. So I'm sharing from my end, or you are sharing.
I'm sharing. Can you see the slides? You should be able to control the slides. Can you see the
Can you see?
slides? Control, or I can
I'm
control
con-
for you.
I'm controlling
No,
my. Can you see mine too?
no. So just go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
We're on slide 2.
Okay. So let's go to slide one and then. Okay. Good evening and good afternoon or morning to everyone, irrespective of where you are. My name is Douglas Aite, and I'm the CEO and co-founder. Sorry, I'm the CEO and founder for MakersPlace, and also certified, Arduino certified person. Now, today we are going to talk about why the need for you to get Arduino certification, and then what are you supposed to do? Because my first time when I wanted to write these exams, I was thinking, I was looking for somebody to talk to who has written the exams one way or the other to ask. I went online, I was looking for information, and then I was not able to get even a video on YouTube on how to prepare for this certification, apart from the test I read from the Arduino website. So this evening, I'm going to use the opportunity to explain what you need to do, and then also give opportunity for Q&A, so you can ask any question relating to this, and then I can answer it to the best of my knowledge. Um, hello, hello.
Hi, Douglas. We can hear you.
Yeah, can you control the slides for me?
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So, if I may ask, what is Arduino certification? Right now, taking the Arduino certification course, right, will give you the opportunity, or it's a proof of competence. So the certification is a proof of competence for whoever wants to take this particular exams. Now, I know a lot of people have been teaching Arduino for some time in schools or even on individuals learning how to use Arduino, but then they need the certification to show that yes, I'm certified. I really know everything concerning this Arduino, right? I know there are 8 thematic areas which will be going into it, but then having the opportunity to write this examination and get the certification, you can adapt to your resume, and then it can also enhances your job um, search, or yeah, it can enhance your job search. So take the opportunity to write these exams, but before you can do that, then you need to listen to some of the things that you need to do. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, the Arduino certification is targeting educators, right? Um, Individual learners, makers, tech enthusiasts, okay, hobbyists, electronics hobbyists, right? People who are interested in physical computing, okay. So these are the target group. Okay, so if you're an educator and you have people coming to your school to teach Arduino, they need to get certified. How do you verify that? The certification shows that yes, Arduino has approved that this person is really good, they know what they are doing, and then they can teach the content according to the certification. So their children or whoever they are going to administer the training will have that confidence in them that these people are really trained, these people knows what they need to do. So whatever they are giving to the children is something that it's not like they are doing trial and error, but actually it is following a particular guidance and a particular standard, right? So anyone, whether you have pre-knowledge or you've been practicing for some time, you can still take this certification exam. All you need is practice, discipline, and you can actually write this examination. So I've explained why you need to take the exams. It's add up to your professional portfolio. It's a proof of competence. So that is the reason why one needs to take these exams. It validates what you are doing over the years. Okay, and then it's also good for starters or beginners who want to become teachers. Okay, and teach this in schools. We need the certification. So yes, I have explained this. Okay, you having the certification, one of the benefits is that you become part of a wider professional network, right, within the edtech communities. So this is good for everyone who is interested in this. And okay, also as I mentioned, it also boosts your confidence in Arduino related electronics, programming, and physical computing. Right? And it also enhances your job application. How does it work? It's a very important question, and I'm going to explain that. So the Arduino certification, um, this is how you go about it. You need to um, prepare yourself within the 8 thematic areas, right? After you have prepared yourself within these areas, you'll be able to take this. But this exams is an online, it's a web-based um, examination, okay? And you have 36 questions within 75 minutes time limit to write this. They are objectives, okay? And the pass mark is 70. Um, Now, if you're able to score 70 and above, you get the certification, right? But then what do you need to do? How do you, what do you, can you say that I'm learning Arduino, so today I'm ready to write the exams? Or I'm a newbie, right? I'm new to Arduino. How do I start? Where do I start from? Okay, these are questions that I'm going to answer as we move along, right? Now let's look at the exams is focused on 8 thematic areas. Okay, that's electricity. It also covers basic electronics component. There is question under frequency and duty cycle. There is also questions that you need to answer around programming logic. You also have to you have questions under programming syntax. You need to know about the Arduino IDE. You need to be able to read circuits, or you need to be able to read circuits, okay, or schematic. And then you must also be more familiar with the Arduino boards, right? So the questions are multiple choice, and they are randomly selected. So you can be two writing the exams at the same time, but then it's only one person. Sorry, you are two writing the exams at the same time, but then the questions are different. So it's not like two people writing and you can copy. You can't, because it's randomly selected. from from a question bank. So whatever you are doing on seat one will be different from the person sitting next to you, right? So you will not know what to the questions that they are answering. And then you have also 75 minutes time. So as you delay the time is also moving fast. So you need to have um, appreciation, okay, not just the knowledge, but you must also have a skill. Because if you have not been practicing, it will be difficult for you to answer some of the technical questions, right? Especially under circuit and schematic, frequency and duty cycles, right? If you want to just go by try and error, you end up failing. The best thing is that for me, I can advise that the exams is more suited for people who have been practicing for a period. Okay, so if you're a new person, then there's an opportunity for you to learn. You must be abreast with electricity. You must learn about the various components, electronics components, resistors, capacitors, transistors, and so on and so forth. So this is going to help you, whoever is ready to take these exams. Make sure that the syntax you are very familiar with it. Now, how do you get resources when you want to learn something under programming the syntax? The Arduino website. The Arduino website is a very, very important place for you to learn. They have a lot of um, explanations to how the syntax. There are a lot of examples to try. There are the libraries that are being used. You can also read about all of them. So the Arduino website is a good place for you. They are yes. So when you stay on the website, you can answer a lot of questions with around the syntax. You can answer questions around the frequency and duty cycle. You will also be able to answer questions under the programming logic. You have knowledge about the various boards and so on and so forth, right? So the website is a good place to go. And then there are other, if you're a new person, then the Arduino starter kit is the go-to area for you, because the starter kit, if I can switch the camera to that, the starter kit, yeah, let me do that. So the starter kit comes with the project book, right? The starter kit comes with a project book, and there are a lot of projects inside the book that you can use. There are a lot of projects inside the book that you can use. You learn. So I mentioned that there's one thematic area that is under component. So in the book, in the Arduino book, when you have the Arduino book, you see that all the components are there. You see breadboard, you have capacitors, you have LEDs, there's explanation to that, there are diodes, there's a LCD, the H bridge is there, there are a lot of components, there are potentiometers and so on and so forth. So you have advantage of using learning about this particular book, preparing yourself adequately for the exams, because the book is very helpful. It has all the details that you need. There are even a page for symbols, right? So you'll be able to appreciate the electronic symbols, which can lead you to be able to answer the questions around the schematic, the circuit, and then the schematic, because you know that the circuit is made up of the symbols, right? So if you cannot read the symbols, it will be difficult for you to understand the circuit and choose the right answers. Um, so when you have this, how it is, the Arduino starter kit, right? So when you get the Arduino starter kit, there is a book inside, as I've mentioned, which covers all the 8 thematic areas with a lot of examples, right? So practically, as you are doing it, you begin to understand what all the 8 areas, what they mean. Practically, you have experienced it, so it's easy for you to answer the questions, right? You can have a circuit like this, a breadboard circuit, and then they will ask you to choose the right answer. How are you going to go about it? With a lot of options. But since you have been practicing, it comes with a breadboard and everything, you'll be able to answer the questions. So there are components that come. So you have a pack that is in the box. So when you buy the Arduino starter kit, you have that, and then it comes with all the components, so you can learn about them, you can practice it, and then you'll be able to answer the questions, right? It comes with also another, the breadboard and some jumper wires. Okay, you have the breadboard and the jumper wires also to try with it. And everything that is in the book, there are components that are available to do that. So when you have the starter kit, you are not going to buy any extra component outside, right? So you can see the DC motor and then the servo motors as well, right? And then this is the Arduino Uno, and you can have it. It's original. It's by Arduino. So I entreat you to get original Arduino board as well. Okay. Now, how do you prepare for the exams? Okay, so this question has been answered. That's what I've explained, that you need a starter kit, and then it comes with a book with all the references that you need, and then you'll be able to, as far as you study and then you practice, you'll be able to pass the exams. Please, can you share the next slide? Okay, so how does the questions looks like? Because you want to know, how do I answer these questions, right? So if you go to the website, can we start from question 1 so that I can explain all of them? Yes. So if you go to the website, there are some sample questions there. We call it a demo. So you can try them, right? So there's a question that says that which of the following component is an actuator, right? So if you check, you see transistor, you have age bridge, you have resistor, and then you have the piezo, right? So you need to choose the right answer to be able to proceed to the next level, right? And then after you are done, they will ask you, you have the results instant, right? So there are demo questions on the website that you can try your hands on it, right? So if you look at it, you have a transistor, okay? Transistor is not an actuator. The age bridge is not, right? The resistor is not. So it is what? It is the piezo, right? Then you move on to the next question. So can we get the next question? Yes, so there's also another question like this. Okay, which function can be used to measure the time between two events? Okay, now which function can be used to measure the time between two events? So if you have not been practicing, it becomes very difficult to answer a question like this, right? So when you open your Arduino IDE, right, and you want to be able to measure the time between two events, then the best answer, it is not a switch, it is not time, right? It's not a time function you use. It's neither a switch function, but rather it is the what? The milliseconds, right? So that is the right answer to choose. Right? So this has a lot of sample questions, and then there's I mentioned under the thematic areas there is circuit and schematic. Okay, there are circuit and schematic. So it says that choose the circuit where both LEDs can be turned on with one push button. So if you don't know your symbols, if you don't know the component, if you cannot read circuits, you've not practiced on the breadboard, that comes with the Arduino starter kit, right? The breadboard, and then the other component that comes with the starter kit. If you've not been practicing, it will be difficult to choose the right answer, right? If I can zoom in, I'll be able to help you to read this circuit. Okay, so if you check here, you see that the first option, you see you have the anode, is the LED. It has both positive and negative, right? So from the negative point, right? So from the negative, which is the ground, it goes straight to the positive, and then from the positive, it goes to one end of the push button, and then from the other push button, it goes to the positive of the second LED, And then from the last one, it comes to the positive, right? So if you look at this particular one, which one will be the right answer, right? So you see from the first option, you have the 5 volts going to the cathode, right? And then moves from the cathode all the way to the anode, and then comes here and goes to the, and then the positive of the anode is going to ground. So it means that the first one is not the right option. Okay. If you read that, you know that the current will conduct in one direction, but it has to be what? Forward bias. Okay. So it must be the positive that is being connected to the it must be the anode connected to the positive of the 5 volts of the supply. Now, if you check this option here, okay, let me come down below the first one. You see on this particular one too, you have one end, it's a push button. So for the push button, it has A, B, C, D. Now, if you use the multimeter and then you measure from point A, if you're looking at it from here, vertical, from point A to point B, like this, if you're going vertical, like point A to point B, you realize that the moment you connect your probes, right? If you put some continuity, you see that the push button, it will start beeping without you even pressing, right? That means that place is connected automatically, so you cannot use that portion, right? So this is not the right answer. Now, the push button must be connected diagonally if you want to get your circuit working. Now, from this aspect, below the first option that I mentioned, now from here, you have the positive to the push button, and then from diagonally, from the other end, going to the positive of the LED, then from the negative to the positive, and then comes back to that. This circuit will not work, right? Because you are supplying the power also to the negative side, which is the cathode of the LED. So this will not give you the right results, right? Now, if you come to this particular option, if you can see, um, okay, so from the top, the one immediately to my right, okay, if you look at that circuit and you read, you see that the positive goes to the anode, then there's a resistor, okay, then there's a resistor that goes to the push button, then from the push button diagonally, it goes to another anode of the second LED, and then comes to the cathode. So that becomes the correct answer for this particular circuit. So you must have the skills to be able to read circuit. Please, can you go to the next slide? Yes. Now, this is the schematic. The other one is a breadboard works, right? But this is the schematic. Okay. So what are the values of the resistors in the circuit below? If I1 equals to I2 and equals to what? I3, right? So you know if you've been doing some circuit for some time. Now you have this circuit connected in parallel, right, to the supply. So you have the 5 volts being supplied, and you have the 10 kilo ohms, and then you have 2 resistors in parallel, and then you have 3 resistors also in parallel. Now, which one will be your right answer? Okay, so you need to be able to apply your basic algebra, all right, and your circuit analysis, right, circuit analysis to be able to choose the right answer, right? So for this particular one, the correct answer is the R1 will be 7 kilo ohms, and then the R2 will be 8.5 kilo ohms, right? So you are finding the resistance here, right? And then you are finding that, but you have the voltage. So if you have the voltage, you can apply basic Ohm's law to be able to calculate it. So that is where you need to apply your basic electricity. Yeah, please let's go to the next one. Okay, so we have also another one, right? So we have another circuit again here. Another breadboard works, but this time there is a code against it. All right. So given the following circuit and part of the code, which button or button combination will turn the LED on? Okay. So you see that you have the circuit here, and then you have the code here, right? So if you cannot read the code, and you cannot read the code, you cannot, or you've not been programming for some time, you will not be able to know the correct answer for this particular one, right? So you should have been practicing for some time. That's why I always mention that you need to get practice. You need it as a big. If you're a new person, you need to have spend some time to be practicing. If you have been practicing, then at least some of these questions will be an easy ones for you to answer. But for this one, if you look at it, the answer is B1. Yeah. Please let's go to the next one. Please can you go to the next one? So how does one prepare for the exams? Right. So that's why. No, please go for it. I think I've mentioned that. Okay. So in the particular, when you look at the first slide or the second, I mentioned that if you are a new person, you're a beginner with no skills, you can still do it, right? As far as you commit to it and you have the resources and you have either somebody helping you, teaching you how to learn or try it, or you go on the internet and you've been practicing. There are a lot of communities, Arduino communities that are supporting. So you can go there and you have a lot of circuit to try your hands on. If you have the book and other things, you can do it, right? If you've been practicing, you can also do it, right? But you must know that the knowledge level and the concept tested in the exam closely match the content of the Arduino starter kit. That's why I mentioned that you need the Arduino starter kit. If you want to score higher marks, right? If you want to score higher marks, you need the Arduino starter kit. I wish I would show you what the score. Maybe before I end, I'll show you 94 over 100. If that is your score, then you need the Arduino starter kit. You really need the Arduino starter kit because it answers all the 8 thematic areas. It answers it answers all the questions, right? Because it covers them and you'll be able to answer the questions as they come because the book is the best place to start together with the starter kit. Okay. And then you can also try your hands on the demo. That's samples that I showed earlier. So if you go to the website, Arduino Education website, you'll be able to do that. Or you just Google it, Arduino examination, and then you can have a link that will direct you. And then you scroll down, you see exams demo, and you can try before you venture to take the main exams. Let's go to the next slide. Now, yes, this is an exam, so you should anticipate that, right? If you are not able to get 70%, you need to write the exams. So the good thing is that you can rewrite it. So if you don't get it the first time, try again. Remember, it's part of the learning process, right? You get experience from it, and then you try again, you learn, and then by the time you try for the second time or the third time, you'll be able to pass, right? But for you to get it one time, the best thing is to practice more, practice more, practice more, and get the starter kit. Please the next slide. Yes. Questions and answers. Any question? I'm ready to answer them.
Hi, Douglas.
Hi. Thank you.
Yeah, nice presentation. There were comments which you probably wouldn't have been able to see because you had your hands full. But yeah, we had some good comments coming in. Brenda said, "Great conversation." Sega from South Africa said great content. He'll be taking his certification tomorrow, and he knows that
Wow.
this will
I
help.
wish, I wish you all the
Um,
best.
so there was, I think that there was something you were doing around 7:20, so 10 minutes ago, that they said they couldn't see. You were probably illustrating maybe when you picked up the kit or something
Yes.
uh, that they couldn't see. Um,
Is it a kit?
so let me just put you up solo layout, and then you can,
Okay.
yeah, hold up the Arduino certification, the project book rather. So the kit comes with a project book, just in case it wasn't clear to people. Um, and the whole idea is that there are projects that people need to do. But I think part of the challenge in the era of access to everything, so depending on where people are, because we have people joining from different places, East Africa, West Africa, Southern Africa, people are going to be wondering where they can get this kit. So I've put up two links. If you just search for Arduino starter kit, you'll find it either from the Arduino website or from Amazon. For people in South Africa, it will probably be easier. You have a few vendors. In other places, check for your local vendors and hopefully you'll find them. But something that occurred to me, Douglas, while you were doing the presentation is maybe we will find time to do all of the experiments,
Sure. Yes.
and then stream them. So
Okay.
we'll just do experiments 1 to 8 and stream them so that people actually see what the experiments are and what the key takeaway is. Because
Okay.
realistically, not everybody will be able to get their hands on the kit or on the book
Okay.
due to logistical reasons, right?
Yeah.
Um, so, Justice, yes, the slides will be shared. So after this live stream, we will update the description on YouTube and put a link to the slides, and you'll have access to them. So Rosina, I shared a link. The kit is about $110 from the Arduino website in the US. In other jurisdictions, it will cost something slightly different, and I'm not sure whether that price is before or after taxes. Um, right. Let's see. Are there levels of proficiency in the exam? So that question is from Patience. So
Okay.
her question, okay, no, so not this, sorry. Um, are there levels of proficiency in the exams?
No, I think it's one time exams. So you don't need to take it again, or don't need to take another level. It's just once. There's no proficiency.
Great. So, um, yeah, I mean, we still have time. So anyone who has questions can still ask, but I think I'll go back to the 8 core areas of the
Okay,
examination.
so we can go back to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so these
Okay.
are the 8 core areas. We can spend some time here. All right. So if you take the book, it talks about electricity. Right. So um, let's start from the number 2, the electronics components. Right. So the book comes with it, and then you have the electronics, the various components that has been discussed. So if you have gone through training or you know your component, you should be able to answer questions relating to this, right? And then you saw that there was one example, you need to analyze the circuits, right? So you need to apply something like Ohm's law to be able to determine the total resistance in the circuit, right? Sometimes you are determining the current, the total current in the circuit, right? Or you are, yeah. So that all of this comes with a lot of practice. You need to be practicing. You need to be practicing, and you will be able to write these exams, right? Then the Arduino IDE. So there are questions. Um, that comes around the Arduino IDE. So you should have learn every part of the IDE. Okay, how do you even add libraries? How do you make sure that you selected the right com and so on and so forth, right? So you need to get used to the IDE and be able to answer questions relating to that. Sometimes they combine both the ID question and then the schematic, all right, or the circuit. Then you should be able to read the code and say this is what will happen when you test the circuit, right? So you should be able to be practicing. That's why I always emphasize that the starter kit is a go-to area for especially beginners. If there's any questions around this place, we can look at it.
Yeah, so Patience wants to know whether MakersPlace provides Arduino training for people in Accra.
Yes. So anybody in Accra, or yes, or who can come to Accra, right? We are in any part of Ghana, but you can make time to come to Accra. We have the kits. We have the starter kits here, and we will take you through it and prepare you so that you can write the exams. Um, Robert, if you can share the exam score. I shared
The
it.
exam store?
Score.
Oh, okay, the score.
Yeah. From,
Uh,
from
you need to do it on your own screen.
on my own screen.
Yeah, show it on your screen there. I'll pick it up from there.
Okay. Yeah, so if you are in Accra and or in Ghana, you want to do it, yes, it's possible. Maybe we can also organize an online classes. As you mentioned, we can stream all the examples, okay, and then people can have access to it. Those who are not within Accra or Ghana, they can actually have access to that asset and they can prepare for the exams.
Yeah, so we'll do our best to go through the projects and stream them online because we're aware of the difficulty of getting some of these things.
Yeah. Please, can you see it?
It's up now.
Yes. So three people from MakersPlace wrote the exams. All right, three people from MakersPlace wrote these exams, and all of us passed these exams. Okay, so that's one of the score, and then there's another one I'd like to show. You come in, I'll put that one up. I'll put that one up. Share. Yes. So there's another one that was 81, right? And then there's the third one. Let me show the third one. I don't know. I took a snapshot of that. 81. Okay, I don't have that one here. But this is how when you pass, this is what you see, right? So immediately you pass, you have this notification, and then it says that get certificate. So you click on it, and then you have the certificate. You can share it on your profile. So if you go to my LinkedIn page, Douglas Ayete, you'll be able to see the sample of the certificate, how it looks like, right? You see it from there. I've shared it on my LinkedIn page. Right. Okay. Yes, Robert. Any other question?
Okay, no questions at the moment. Um, yeah, I'm looking at the stream. Maybe we can wait 3 more minutes and see if anything comes up. Um, yeah. So again, if you've been working with Arduino, It's helpful to note that it's not just what's on the IDE. So, for example, Douglas talked about circuits and schematics, but he also talked about electricity and Ohm's law is one example, and it's huge because one of the questions was around understanding Ohm's law, but there are also other principles of electricity. So where the current is split
Yes, H's law.
along three
H,
junctions,
yes,
yeah, but
H's law.
the current is the same. What is required for the current to be the same um, across those junctions, right? That's something that you need to know. It's a very important principle. Um, so So Rosina's question is, how long does it take for one to study before writing the exams?
Yes, so for this particular one, I cannot give specific, but what I can advise is that, what I can say is that anyone who is practicing, if you only practice, you will be able to um, write it, right? So I have a student from University of Ghana. She's preparing to write the exam. She's spending 2 hours of her time every day for 5 days. Like for the past 2 weeks, she comes every day and then she's working on it. So she's preparing. So as far as she's able to complete all the activities in the book, she's going to give it a try, and I'm very optimistic that she's going to pass. Right. So it's about dedication. You yourself, you must be more committed. That yes, I want to do it. I want to add it to my professional resume. I really need this because I want to be an educator, or I've been teaching this for some time. I want to use this one as a proof of competence. So I want to commit maybe the next 1 month, the next 2 months, and get ready for it. But for beginners, if you are not going to practice extensively, then it is going to take some time. But all depends on you. It's on individual to individual basis. So I cannot really give specific time.
Yeah, thanks for that, Douglas. So just to add, Rosina, your journey is going to be different from the next person's journey. It
Yeah.
could take you 2 hours to prepare for the exam. It could take you 2 months, right? But you're not competing against anybody.
Self-paced.
You should take the exams when you feel ready to take the exams. And what that means is you should ideally practice all of the projects. So the challenge, we know that right now you might not have that kit with you, so you don't even know how long it will take to complete, right? But either you get your hands on the kit or we start to publish the project and you reproduce. So studying in this embedded world is completely different from studying for some other fields where you don't really need a lot of practice, right? It's not like literature, for instance. So you're going to need to practice those projects, and you need to feel confident that you understand everything that is going on there. It is only after you've got to that point that you should decide to take the exam. So if you look at project one and you understand everything that's going on, it's obvious, it's straightforward. You know what sensors are, you know what actuators are, you know all of the laws in electricity, you know the programming logic, then you're probably ready to take it. But if you don't, if you look at the 8 sections on the screen now and you don't feel that you know everything, then you know that there's a bit of studying that you need to do. But you're not competing against anybody, right? So I think the answer to how long it takes is it takes as long as it takes. It just depends on you. So we have another question from Patience, and her question is, how much is the examination fee?
$30.
Yeah, so it's $30, but the Arduino starter kit has a version that comes with an exam voucher inside of it. So if you get your
Yes.
hands on one of those, then you already have the exam covered, paid for, right? But if you don't, then you can pay for the exam alone, or if you need to retake it, then it's it's $30.
Yes. So if you get a starter kit, the original, there is a voucher in it, right? That has the code. So it's just one time you can use it. So buy the starter kit and then you have that, right? So it means that the starter kit comes with the $30 free examination coupon. But if not, then you need to go and pay $30 before you can take the exams. And it's one time. So when you fail, you need to pay another $30.
Yes, so the voucher gives you one attempt at passing the certification exam. Okay, thank you to Patience. Thank you everyone for joining, and for those who are going to be watching this after the fact, good luck in your certification journey. And thank you as well to Douglas for taking time out to uh, take us through this session.
Yes.
So enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.
Yeah. Anyone that if you still have questions, or later you watch this and you still want some questions or answers to some questions, you can send me a message on my LinkedIn page, Douglas IET, and then I can answer that. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye, everyone.